tonight. Obviously, a really low point total,
yes,
especially in today's NBA. And credit the Boston defense.
Yeah.
I mean, that is an absolutely sweltering defense. I'm not choosing the right word, but it's going to get on you. It's going to make you sweat. It's going to make you work. And the bottom line is the Lakers just couldn't pull it off tonight, Ali. They've been doing pretty well offensively for a while. Tonight was not one of those nights. And Boston, last in the league in pace, James. So they want to slow the game down. They don't want any fast breaks, which the Lakers like to do.
Yeah.
Not a lot of easy fast break points at all for the Lakers tonight.
All valid. All valid. This game to me wasn't about stats and rebounds and all that. All that is the norm. Mm-hmm. No heart. Weak. No heart. Weak. And it's post All-Star, and we talked about what they needed to do before All-Star. I think they didn't achieve what they wanted to there. So now you get a break and they come back. Clipper game, okay, that was a tough game. They won. But tonight, this afternoon, was weak. It's the Boston Celtics. Okay, no Tatum. You're at home. You're in fifth place. You're trying to move up. You show really, to me, no respect for the uniform. Okay, when you come out and you get out rebounded, offensive rebound after offensive rebound, Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, you can sniff out weakness. Okay, when you do that, you can just dominate. That's what they did. Offensive rebounds, they've got to decide who they want to be. Because right now, I'm not sure. They're a good team. I'm not taking that away from them. They're a good team. They got a lot of offensive power. But until they decide, I'm a little biased because it's the Celtics.
Right.
And it was Pat Riley's, a statue unveiling it to, just to come out like that at home with no, it was just tough to watch. And as I drove back, listened to John Ireland on the radio on the way in, it just got worse.
Mm-hmm. The game, we talked about it in the pregame show about how maybe players in the moment, they're not going to acknowledge that this is a measuring stick game. But
Mm-hmm.
you kind of make a point where, you're up against the number 2 team in the East who has been playing very well.
7 or 8 games, I think they won.
Coming into a season, they called the gap year. Not a lot of expectations because of that without Jason Tatum. But you look at the way, to your point, of the heart, the hustle, the energy, the effort, et cetera, right? You got 26 games left on the season. You look at this one, only 3 of their 22 losses on the season have been below 10 points. What are you kind of thinking right now of what can be achieved, what needs to be accomplished during this sprint and this stretch run to the finish line when you look at a game like this and where you need to get to if you want to make noise in the postseason? Yeah,
they almost put, us or me in a position where I don't know. Because we've been waiting and we've seen potential. They're good in clutch. Last 3 or 4 minutes, the defense is good, so they get leads. So why can't they hang on to those leads? But they really got to show some collective pissed off, collectively. They got to have a meeting where, who are we? We are not meeting force with force until they decide, Allen, that they're going to defend and not give up offensive rebounds and not get outworked and out-muscled. Jaylen Brown and Pritchard, they felt it. They just said, look, we know they're not a little soft today. And so that's where we stand. If they don't decide to turn around and Rui and Ayton and these guys don't decide that they are going to be enforcers and change the narrative, then this is what we're going to get. Fortunately.
When you look at the Celtics, though, a lot of contributions. You mentioned Jaylen Brown. You mentioned Peyton Pritchard. Obviously, Jaylen Brown coming off his 6th career triple-double the other night against the Warriors. He had 32, 8, and 7 tonight. Peyton Pritchard, he's been better off the bench this season. He is in his sweet spot than he has been as a starter. He puts up a 30 ball himself, 4 boards, 8 assists, 6 of 9 from deep. But to your point, the mentality was just different.
Yeah. And who's I'm sorry, not Vujicic, but the other center, Keita?
Keita.
Yeah. Yep. 12, 14 rebounds, just offensive
Ball of
rebounds
energy.
after rebound and just getting pushed around. That's what pisses me off the most, when you're getting pushed around and then when, you know, as a player, when you kind of know you're defeated. I've done this before. When I've known I'm defeated, you start to complain, and you start to you know bitch and moan and start looking at the referees. And meanwhile, Boston, they see that. So the Lakers got to decide. They got to decide. We've been waiting long enough. They're healthy, even without being healthy. They got to decide who they are. Boston's won a championship. They don't have Tatum. They made some trades, but they still have that championship, pushed, and taunted and did whatever they wanted to do to the Lakers. So they got to decide. The Lakers got caught. They got caught in that spot where threes not falling, shots not falling, Boston's just pushing you around. Now you're going to start complaining, which really, takes you away from what you're supposed to be doing. And so it wasn't pretty at all, not from the beginning. So, and this is a home game on a Sunday, on a big event. I don't know if they understand the history. Not these guys. I don't know if they get it. This is Boston Celtics and the Lakers at home.
Yeah,
they got to figure it out. Not only for Boston, they got to figure it out for the next few games, the next schedule coming up, because everybody else is watching. And if they're getting the same, the same answers that I think I have, they're going to be saying, yeah, we can do it too. So yeah, they've gotten themselves. And I hate to be so critical, but this is who they are right now. We don't know.
Yeah, James, I mean, Pat Riley said before the game in his speech before his trophy presentation, which turned out to be the best hour plus of the afternoon, that's for sure. He said, hey, when it comes time to kick some ass, you do it. And now we're still about a week away from March, so this is not that time. This is not mid-April or late May or even June, obviously, James. You had plenty of experience in the playoff months. But yeah, the Lakers are not playing well at home. They're now 16-11 at home. That's not a real strong record. Allie, like you alluded to, when they lose big. When they win, it's exciting, it's fun. They have some nice W's in the season. They're in a much better spot than I thought they would be in at this point in the season, especially with all the injuries. But when they lose, it's just not been real competitive. So, you need to tighten that up for sure. And tonight, just a couple of the stats. I mean, Austin Reeves, 15 points, only 2 assists. James, I think he has to be one or the other. He's got to score his 28, 29 a game, or hand out 7 or 8 assists. He couldn't hit on either of those categories tonight. And 2 starters, DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, 4 points combined. Yeah. They played 47 minutes on the court together.
Couldn't hit threes.
Yeah. Marcus Smart 0 for 7, DeAndre Ayton 2 for 6. So just some really tough numbers there. And James, you're right. It just wasn't there tonight, was it? And it's disappointing for you as a guy who, in this studio, a few years back, bashed a Celtics piñata that still goes down as the best moment in this studio's history.
Had a nice cigar,
Yeah, you've had good cigars, yeah.
Had to see Cedric Maxwell the arena before I left. We're going to kick y'all's ass. And they did.
Yeah. It really runs deep. We're going to dive down
deep
to Crypto, Redick, brought to you by your Toyota dealers.
JJ, what do you think was the main difference tonight, I guess, for you on both ends?
Well, I think, going against this team and their offense, made the subs at 322 in the fourth quarter. They've got 105 points, and they're 12 for 32 from 3, and they're shooting 47%. We did a good job limiting their fast break points. Did a good job limiting their points in the paint under 50. So, we did enough defensively. We were just awful offensively tonight.
And just on the offense, with teams that play with kind of a deep drop in ball pressure, what isn't happening in certain games like tonight? What needs to get better with the offense there?
Yeah, I mean, there were opportunities, I think, to put more pressure on the rim. Particularly in the first half, we took 11 non-paint twos. We were 13 for 29 on paint twos, non-rim paint twos. So, that's not normally what we shoot. And then got some good looks from 3. We didn't knock them down. So you got to make shots in this league. Took care of the basketball. The one thing I think a lot of times when teams are in that deeper drop versus all our guys that play pick and roll, like it kind of puts you a little bit in a bind of not having the obvious choice to pass, if that makes sense. So we just got to do a better job of just finding guys and moving the ball.
JJ, excuse me, along those lines, when it comes to passing, like coaches always talk about like trusting the pass and trusting yourself. Is that something where, and this group has played 12 games together now, that trust just hasn't maybe fully developed, and particularly against a defense like this that's kind of forcing into those types of decisions? Did you see any maybe trickle down from that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's, again, it's something we talk about all the time. We're a better basketball team. We win more games when we have more potential assists and get more assists.
Did you feel like passing in general tonight, like the activity and the pop was there, or was it their defense, or was it mentality, you think, from the way you guys attacked?
We just didn't do it enough. Yeah.
Pritchard outscored everyone on your team, not named LeBron, Luka, and Austin, single-handedly. It seemed like a lot of those makes were
generally somebody's going to be the leading scorer of the game.
All the guys, not those three. So 29 points for all the other players. Yeah, 30 for him.
That's what you're saying. He had a great game.
Yeah, so obviously some high degree of difficulty shots he was making, but it was a tip your hat type of kind of game.
Look, anytime you play these guys, we did such a poor job in Boston of limiting their catch and shoot threes, and I think that's where you talk about the personnel and how good Jaylen Brown has been and how good Peyton Pritchard's been. Really, where this team kills you is when they can get you in the blender and take catch and shoot threes, and they can shoot 51 of them, and they're going to make 20. They're that good. So trying to limit that is, I think, the biggest thing when you play these guys, and you have to be willing to live with contested off the dribble jumpers, and Pritchard made a lot of them tonight. I think he played a great game.
Hey JJ, you mentioned that you did like the defense, or at least that was an acceptable level of defense. What about the defense tonight do you feel like was better compared to when you played Friday night?
When I played Friday night, I don't know how to answer that question. I think we did a really good job of containing the basketball and forcing tough shots. I don't even remember what happened Friday night, to be honest with you, so I can't compare it.
Yeah.
JJ, you mentioned their drop as something that maybe kind of slowed you guys down. I think it was the Phoenix game to start December. I could be wrong, but that feels like one of the first times you saw a heavy amount of team playing drop. How you felt the process was for you guys offensively against drop defense from that game up till this game, before this